Thank you, Clive. Welcome to BBC London. Coming up on tonight's programme. Another young life lost to knife crime after a 15-year-old boy is fatally stabbed with a zombie-style knife.
The fact a 15-year-old teenager who had his whole life ahead of him had been taken from his family in this way is a stark and sobering reminder of the danger of zombie-style knives.
Well, could a new ban on zombie knives due to come in tomorrow make a difference? Also ahead. Rain stops play as AFC Wimbledon are forced to cancel a crucial cup match after its pitch is damaged by extensive flooding. Meanwhile, making its way along the Thames, why a replica Spanish warship is docking in London. And
keep dancing, Tom!
Pupils at his former primary school cheer on Olympian Tom Dean as he swaps swimming for Strictly. Hello and good evening to you. A 15-year-old has become the latest victim of knife crime in the capital after he was fatally stabbed not far from Woolwich Common. Witnesses have described how the boy fought for his life on the street, pleading with those who rushed to help him to not let him die. Police believe a zombie-style knife was used in the attack yesterday, and it comes as new laws banning the possession of this type of weapon comes into force tomorrow. Anna O'Neill is there for us this evening. Anna.
That's right. This is still an active crime scene on Eglinton Road in Woolwich. Police have been carrying out a fingertip search of the gardens, of the bushes and the drains here all day. They haven't yet confirmed any arrests and they haven't released the name of the victim, but he was a popular 15-year-old boy. What you can't see, Riz, is there's about 20 or 30 young people that have gathered here just in front of me with balloons and flowers, and they're hoping to carry out a vigil here for him this evening. This is a community in trauma and shock and in fear. And just a word of warning, my report contains distressing details from the start.
He was saying, call my mum, call my mum. So I was stroking his face, just saying you're going to be okay.
The voice of a local mum who tried to save a 15-year-old boy stabbed to death here yesterday evening. She and another resident were too afraid to go on camera, but their words need no pictures.
I've grabbed a clean sheet that I just washed. I come out, I jump down this concrete stairs and I just run and I see a body laying in the floor, put my sheet round his leg and I just pressed on him until the ambulance and that come, bless him. And he said to me, please don't let me die. I said, you're all right, mate. I said, it's, you know, I stroked his face and I held him and I said to him, you'll be all right, mate.
My friends are saying there's nothing you could have done. It's the comfort, you need to find comfort with the fact that you guys were with him in his last moments. You guys were with him while he could function a little bit, while he could ask for help, he could hear our voices. My son is the same age.
Police haven't yet named the boy, but did give a warning about the dangers of zombie-style knives.
Once again, we've had to tell a child's family that their loved one has been killed in an act of violence using knives. Our thoughts are with them as they struggle to comprehend what has happened. The fact a 15-year-old teenager who had his whole life ahead of him had been taken from his family in this way is a stark and sobering reminder of the danger of zombie-style knives.
Local people told me that their concerns about open drug dealing and gangs are not being taken seriously. Local knife crime campaigner Ryan Biddis agrees it is a problem here.
In that area there is a lot of knife crime, gang culture as well, but it's not just in that area, it's all over. On this borough it's particularly bad, but we look at other boroughs as well and they've got the same problem. Me personally, I believe education is the key, getting into the schools, chatting to the young people, creating that positive mindset.
All this happened 2 days before deadly zombie knives are banned, but it didn't come soon enough to save this child. Anna O'Neill, BBC London.
Well, let's pick up on that because, yes, new laws come into force tomorrow, which will make it illegal to own, make or supply zombie knives and machetes in England and Wales, something campaigners and bereaved families here in the capital have been calling for. Can that help save lives? Here's our Home Affairs correspondent, Sonia Jessup.
Here is I suppose, an example of a zombie knife.
This is the kind of weapon campaigners want to take off London's streets. The kind, all too often, used by children to kill and harm other children.
It's wild to think that a young person in particular can be running around with something like this down their tracksuit bottoms.
The charity Steel Warriors has spent years collecting these weapons from police and amnesty boxes and say new laws banning zombie knives are welcome.
I mean, for some of these weapons, there really is no reason as to why they should be on the streets of London. So it's definitely a good thing. I think the big challenge, though, lies in ultimately helping change behaviours.
That's what their work aims to do, melting down weapons to create outdoor gyms, safe spaces, they hope, where young people can work out for free and find a sense of community.
Nice, that's it.
That's something they're trying to encourage here too. The Education Link School in Stratford hopes boxing lessons instill discipline and self-control.
Oh, that's their leg movement.
Some children also have sessions on the dangers of knife crime, and many say it's easy for young people to get hold of weapons.
So where's everyone getting this junk from?
Online websites, isn't it?
The sessions are led by Farron Paul. For years, he's been running his own amnesty campaign, personally collecting weapons and handing them in to police.
A lot of the knives that I used to pick up were little lock knives, butterfly knives, and then the Rambo knives. But now, it's more big Rambos and what you call a Z case with the serrated edges.
Along with actor Idris Elba, he's been among campaigners who've met the Prime Minister calling for a ban on zombie knives. He says he's impressed with the government's action plan and is lobbying for more change.
How about putting licensing in place for purchasing? How about putting serial numbers on every sort of bladed article? When we talk about even if you buy a set of knives from Tesco's, then it's going to have a serial number in it.
He agrees more needs to be done to understand the culture of why young people carry weapons. This year, 8 teenagers have lost their lives to knife crime in the capital, including 15-year-old Pharrell Garcia, stabbed in Stoke Newington in July.
Pharrell was a very kind boy. He always knew how to put a smile on everyone's face. So when he passed away, everyone was shocked.
So will the ban on zombie knives make these young people feel any safer?
I feel like it's a good idea, but there's also still people on Snap and people that we know that still sell knives. Even if you was to ban them, they're still getting it from other people.
I don't think nothing would help. It'll still go on. It'll keep on going on.
Your left hand's going to be a jabbing hand.
Campaigners believe there is hope, but say young people need to feel they have a future, to be given opportunities and support to keep them safe.
And Sonia is with me now. As we heard earlier, another family grieving the loss of a child. Do we know how much of London's knife crime is linked to these zombie-style knives?
Well, the BBC asked police forces across England and Wales how many recorded crimes mention machete, swords and zombie knives. And the figures suggest that the rate has almost doubled in 5 years. But we don't know the picture here in London because the Met Police hasn't supplied data to that. We heard Farron Paul, the campaigner there, talking about how he's seen increasingly larger weapons involved. But sometimes these are just kitchen knives which are being used. Overall, knife crime offences recorded by the Met have risen by 16% in the last year. That's almost 15,000 offences recorded in the 12 months up till March. Now, knife crime fatalities have been falling since 2019. But as I say there, so far this year, we've seen 8 teenagers lose their lives to knife crime, including, of course, the boy who's lost his life in Woolwich. And we heard that it's thought that a zombie knife was involved in that attack.
It does raise the question, you know, some will be asking, does this ban go far enough then?
Well, I don't think anyone, including the government, to be fair, thinks that the ban really goes far enough. And ministers have said that this is just the first step in their plan to halve knife crime in a decade. They say they also want to outlaw ninja swords. Of course, campaigners say, and what might be a much harder problem to tackle, is that we need to look at the underlying causes of why young people carry knives. And we're going to be continuing looking at this issue actually tomorrow, because I've been speaking to a father who lost his own son in an attack involving a zombie knife. He's been pushing for these laws, and we'll be talking about his reaction to the new legislation.
OK, and that is tomorrow. Sonia, thanks ever so much. That's Sonia Jessup, our Home Affairs correspondent there. Thanks for being with us this Monday evening. Lots more to come, including Olympic swimmer Tom Dean.
Join me later on as I'm going to go back to my old primary school, surprise all the kids because they all wish me good luck before I race to the Paris Olympic Games.
And coming up, I'm by Tower Bridge, where a full-sized replica of a 17th century warship is preparing to dock along the Thames.
Heavy rain overnight has led to major floods in parts of Bedfordshire, Hertfordshire and Buckinghamshire. Several rivers burst their banks, as well as a mini tornado hitting Luton, with vehicles submerged underwater. Schools had to be shut and major roads closed, with some people forced to abandon their vehicles. Parts of London last night were also affected by the weather, with a man in Battersea rescued from his car, which became submerged. Well, also in southwest London, a crucial cup match between AFC Wimbledon and Premier League heavyweights Newcastle United has had to be rescheduled after flooding overnight damaged part of the pitch. Aisha Baksh has more.
Well, while we've been here, we've seen lots of different people going in and out of the stadium with their wellies and waders on, all assessing the situation. One of them said to me simply, "It doesn't look great." The club have said that excessive overnight flooding of the nearby River Wandle has caused significant damage to part of the pitch. And footage also shows that the walkways have been significantly flooded. Now, the club were due to play a huge match tomorrow against Newcastle United, but that has now been postponed. This is a much-loved local supporter-run football club, which has only been back here on Plough Lane for a couple of years. So not only is what happened here hugely disappointing, but will also be causing big financial concern to the club. Other matches are also scheduled for this week. The club were due to host other football matches and also a fundraiser gig on Friday by the stand-up comedian Jeff Norcott, who is a huge Wimbledon fan. And the club have now said that the Newcastle United match will take place at St James's Park on Tuesday, the 1st of October. The club have said that they will be looking at arranging coach travel for supporters, as they recognise this will be difficult for them. But they say this is a hugely anticipated fixture. As for the stadium, that will remain closed until further notice.
Aisha Baksh reporting there. Now, as we've been hearing, Rachel Reeves has given her first speech to the Labour Party conference as Chancellor, promising investment would bring growth. So, what was potentially in that for London? A key question that perhaps our political editor in Liverpool can answer for us. Hi, Tim.
Hello. Yeah, no return to austerity, as she promised, but those with an interest in London have been wondering, what does investment in the short term look like in the capital? The business organisation Business London listened to what she was saying and came up with 3 things straight away she should be doing, using public money to generate private money. So first off, come up with a much more ambitious programme of affordable house building, guarantee that HS2 rail link will go from Old Oak Common into Euston, and there will be a full regeneration of the station and the area around it. And then third, guarantee much more in terms of transport funding, more certain budgets to transport for London. But it has to be said, Riz, at this stage, there's no guarantee in the short term of any of these 3 things.
And Tim, London's mayor wasn't there to see this.
He was here over the weekend. He came up for a reception, a London reception on Saturday, and was here yesterday. But today, he's flown to New York for a 4-day visit. He'll be addressing a couple of climate change conferences, speaking to a business conference, is meeting some business people and doing a round of media interviews. But for the reasons we've just been hearing, some are saying, the Conservatives on the London Assembly, for instance, that he should actually be here during conference, here for the Prime Minister's speech tomorrow, here taking every opportunity to bang the drum for the capital, make the case for investment in the capital, and lobby ministers at every opportunity.
This is a party conference of the party in government. That's where people are there arguing the case for all of the different interest groups. The mayor represents London. He should be there arguing for London to get its fair share of cash. The fact that Keir seems to have turned him down, he seems to have decided not to bother going at all. It's a real shame, and London's clearly missing out.
Sadiq Khan says it's really important for him to bang the drum, promote the capital abroad, and he'll be meeting businesses and he'll be trying to get more sporting events, American sporting events, over here.
Sometimes you can do more action, get more returns by speaking to people face to face. We know the difference speaking to business leaders across the globe can make. We've got, businesses thinking about going to Paris or Madrid or Barcelona or Dublin. We need to make sure they come to London.
And Tim, is it true that there's already chat about who will succeed Sadiq Khan?
Hard to think about that, isn't it? Hard to think that we could be talking about the next mayoral election in 2028, but someone's broken cover, partly because of remarks she made very late at night last night, I think, at an event. Dawn Butler, a Brent MP, says she'd love to be mayor of London. She, makes it quite clear there's no vacancy. She's a friend of Sadiq Khan. She's not challenging him, but if or when he decides to stand down, she's making it very clear that she wants to stand and seek the Labour candidacy. So yeah, hard to believe we're talking about it when we just had a mayoral election, but we've got a declaration of sorts. The campaign begins here, Riz.
I can see how excited you are by that. Tim, thanks ever so much. That's Tim Donovan, our political editor at the Labour Party conference in Liverpool. Turning now to some amazing Londoners and the work they do to help others. We've heard some incredible stories of those nominated in the BBC Radio London Make a Difference Awards. Tonight, we hear from a dad and carer looking after his toddler who was born with a complicated heart condition, now in palliative care. He's also raising awareness to help other families in a similar situation. Here's Jim and 18-month-old Jackson.
It's literally 24/7. But I wouldn't have it any other way. It's like spending all my time with my best friend. I'm Jim, and I'm a carer to my son, Jackson. Jackson was born in October 2022 with a life-limiting, incurable heart condition called hypoplastic left heart syndrome. In September of last year, he was actually put on an end-of-life palliative pathway. We've spent a lot of time in and out of hospitals, intensive care units and kind of A&Es, a bit like a revolving door really. I took a lot of time off work to be by Jackson's side, and subsequently I've stopped working altogether. Care can be anything from changing nappies, feeding and the medication, which is a strict routine. We've made adaptations to the house. We've spent a lot of time working in the garden to make the garden a safe, enjoyable space for Jackson because he really enjoys nature. We're trying to make every day as fun and enticing for Jackson as possible. One of the strangest but happiest things about this situation is Jackson's infectious kind of personality. Such a happy little boy, and that rubs off, which helps get through the uncertainty of how long we've got with him and making those magical memories. It was originally said that he wouldn't see past his first Christmas. So, as his third Christmas is rapidly approaching, we're super excited that he's still with us. That's testimony to his strength, his courage and his resilience and determination to kind of beat his condition. Congenital heart defects, which is what Jackson has, it's not particularly well known or talked about unless you're actually experiencing it. In terms of living a positive life and bringing some positivity to Jackson's journey, one of the things that we've spent time doing is creating awareness into the challenges and the lifestyle that we have. And I've created a couple of forum groups for parents going through similar things. I'm absolutely shocked, but very honoured to be put forward for the BBC Make a Difference Awards. It was a complete surprise. All I've ever tried to do is just give my best to Jackson, but it's nice to have had that recognition.
That was Jim there, just one of our incredible nominees for the BBC Radio London Make a Difference Awards, and all the winners of the 8 categories will be announced at a ceremony this Wednesday. Now, it's not often you see a 17th century Spanish warship on the Thames. Yes, you heard right. That's exactly what happened today. Well, a full-size replica of the galleon Andalucia, which is going to be docked for a fortnight near Tower Bridge. We can find out more from our reporter, Barry Caffrey.
Well, it's not every day that a full-sized replica of a 17th century warship sails along the Thames. This is the 500-ton galleon Andalucia. It's 162 feet long and 33 feet wide. It's been in existence since 2009 and has sailed more than 70,000 nautical miles. Its destination today? London. So what do people think?
Well, it looks absolutely fantastic, doesn't it? I guess it's around the period of the Spanish Armada by the looks of it.
It's a 17th century warship. Do you think it's a good tourist attraction for London?
Oh, definitely. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? The Thames is beautiful. It's a beautiful evening, and why would you not want to go and see an attraction like that?
It's interesting because I feel like the Thames was full of these kinds of boats back in the day. It's nice to see one finally able to be visited.
And what about seeing Tower Bridge lifting as well to get the boat through?
Yeah, I've definitely never seen that before. I've lived here for 2 years. I've never seen that. And to see it come through above, in front of Tower of London is a really cool experience.
And finally, what do you make of this warship?
And to imagine actually having to navigate with just sails back in the day and you know, just to get through there seems like it'd be quite a challenge.
Well, visitors will be able to find out about what life is like aboard with videos, demonstrations and presentations by crew members wearing their uniform. The galleon Andalucia will dock at St Catherine Docks near Tower Bridge and will be there until the 6th of October.
Quite a sight. Barry Caffrey there. Now to London-born Olympian Tom Dean, who won gold with his relay teammates in Paris Olympics, adding to his previous 2 gold medals, by the way, in the Tokyo Games. As you can see, all change for the 24-year-old as he backstrokes into the ballroom as a contestant on Strictly Come Dancing, hoping to add the glitter ball trophy to his collection. And he's certainly got some supporters from his former primary school who cheered him on during the Olympics. Today, he went back to the classroom and Tolu Adeoye was there.
This was anything but an ordinary Monday assembly for pupils at Mallory's Primary School in Brent. A special guest, Olympian Tom Dean, who used to come here himself, brought smiles to lots of little faces.
It was amazing. Walking back in here, which is already quite surreal because this is where I went to school, and then seeing everyone just go crazy, it's so special.
And this visit was to say thank you to the pupils for sending him good luck messages for the Paris Olympics, where he won gold in the men's 4x200 metres freestyle relay.
It felt really weird that there was a great worldwide star standing in the same room as us, and of course we go to the same school that he did, so it just felt amazing.
Because he's a really fast swimmer, so it inspires me to be just as great as him.
I used to swim at Willesden, the swimming pool over in Willesden.
He said that he swam at the same pool that I swim at every Tuesday and Friday, which I think is really cool, so I've swum in the same water as he has.
You can see what it means to these kids when I mean, I remember when an Olympian came into our school and gave a talk, and I remember it like it was yesterday, and that was in year 4 or 5. So, you know, a few of them said that they're going to remember this, and that's the most special thing I can, ever hear as an athlete coming back to the school that I went to.
And Tom's now aiming to win fans not only in the pool but on the dance floor in Strictly Come Dancing this year.
So who watches Strictly?
Me!
So what do you think about Tom on Strictly? Anyone see him on there?
I was surprised because he did better than I thought.
He's quite good.
I thought the judges were really harsh on him because I thought he did really, really well, and hopefully he can do much better next time.
Everyone will ask, what's harder to train for, Strictly or the Olympics?
The Olympics, I was saying in the assembly, I know what I'm doing a little bit more. Strictly, I haven't got a clue. And it's so, my knees are getting sore, my ankles, I'm getting sore in places I didn't even know I could. Because all I do is in the water, upper body kind of stuff. So completely new, it's a whole different kind of training.
He'll be hoping to continue his winning ways, and with this kind of support,
Keep dancing, Tom!
who could doubt him?
Thanks, guys.
Tolu Adeoye, BBC London.
Out of the mouth of babes, eh? How inspiring to have an Olympian come to your school. Well, the weather's certainly been a talking point, never mind the swimming course that has joined us. Anything drier on the horizon?
For a bit, yes, Riz. I mean, it was pretty awful, wasn't it? If you were out on the roads yesterday evening, you would have known how difficult it was. Tomorrow it does look a bit drier, but the rest of the week there is some more rain, I'm afraid, yes. So it is unsettled and it has been really treacherous on those roads. We've had a lot of rainfall in the last 12 to 24 hours. And this is the radar image. I'm focusing on 7 o'clock yesterday evening till 7 o'clock this morning. And you can see the deluge of that rain spreading out from the south, some torrential downpours in places, especially across more western parts of the capital. And we had scenes of flash flooding as well. This was Greenford in West London. You can't even see the pavement here. There was that much rainfall. It felt like flowing river. The drains couldn't cope with some of this rain. So really treacherous conditions on the road. And if you take a look at some of the rainfall totals, well, for that specific period, overnight last night, nearby in Northolt, we reached 46.4 millimetres of rainfall recorded, and for Kenley, for Kew Gardens, in excess of 40 millimetres. Compare that to the September average of 50 millimetres, and you can see nearly a month's worth of rainfall in a short space of time. Most of this fell after midnight last night in just a few hours. Now, we still have Met Office yellow weather warnings in force for this evening too. We've got the second-tier amber warning across more northwestern parts of the capital, into Luton, into Marlow as well, valid until 9 o'clock this evening, and elsewhere a lower tier warning until midnight tonight. But most of this heavy rain has been to the west of us, and it will continue for a time. But as this rain clears and spreads further eastwards over us tonight, it will become a bit patchier in nature and staying quite cloudy and murky, and temperatures dipping down to around 12 to 14 Celsius. So it does mean for tomorrow morning, quite cloudy, still quite damp out there for the morning commute, but it is a drier day overall. There will be some brighter spells breaking through the cloud, especially across more western parts. This may trigger a few showers though, and temperatures reaching around 15 to 18 Celsius. Tomorrow night too is a drier night, some clearer skies in places, some cloud around. And temperatures, well, overnight a bit cooler than tonight, dipping down to around 10 to 12 Celsius. So it means Wednesday starts off initially a bit drier with some brighter spells, but then we have more rain in the forecast arriving in during the afternoon, spreading up, and this will be heavy at times as well, and temperatures around 14 to 16 Celsius. So there will be more rain in the forecast midweek, Wednesday into Thursday, another area of low pressure spreading up, and already the ground is still a bit saturated from the rain from earlier, and this may again cause a bit of disruption. So keep an eye on the forecast for that. By Friday and the weekend, though, it slowly does improve. It becomes drier, but becoming cooler as we're drawing in those winds from the north, temperatures only reaching the low teens. And that's your forecast.
I heard the word improve. I'll stay with that. Corsa, thank you. And that is it. Plenty more on our website, including the West London Theatre at risk of closure at the end of the year. And check out some of the amazing stories of Londoners in our Make a Difference Awards ahead of the winners being announced on Wednesday. Thanks very much for watching, and do have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.